And I have to try to get yeah, see if I can get them to come alive. There he comes. And you can put huge pieces in for him if you want, the size of your thumb, and he'll eat the whole thing, and a big bulge on the top opposite his orifice there. You see the purple tang is making his presence known. But the starfish is pretty good at grabbing food, so you should do okay. Normally I don't specifically feed them. I thought it'd be a little bit interesting here to show that. Normally I feed at night. I've got some sinking food that I use. Currently I'm using something called Nutrafin. I don't know if you can read that. Nutrafin Max. Marine complete food for all marine fish, and it's called slow sinking morsels. It comes in a little bottle, and I put some of that into a cup, mix it with water, let it sink, and then mix that in, and just mix that in late at night. And that falls to the bottom, and shrimp and starfish and crabs and so forth can fetch that and eat it. Okay, well, let's take a look and see if anything has developed here on that fungia. Oh yeah, it's you might not be able to see it from that angle, but the Formula One is now currently tucked into its mouth. I need to keep it covered for a while longer to protect it from the shrimp. The mouth is opened up. It's angled away from you a little bit, so you probably didn't see it, but the Formula One has been collected at the mouth. And it's still going to take another 10 minutes or so for that to be eaten. So we'll just let that stay. This is another rare sight. It's a crab of some kind. Here you can see clearly see the cleaner shrimp taking the food. Yeah. Here you can see the cleaner shrimp going over the, God, come on back. He's going over the top of that. There he is. He's probing for a food that I put on that little tongue coil. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes again, so let's try removing the funnel and seeing how well that coral did. You got about 3/4 of the food into its mouth. So now, as long as no cleaner shrimp recognize the food is there, we'll be okay. The only thing at this stage that can steal that food is the cleaner shrimp. I think they're busy stealing the food from all the other corals. Let's see if we can get show you what that looks like. Okay, that you'll see a purplish area. That's the mouth material. You can see just to the left and above it is a little bit of orange. That's a little bit of leftover Formula 1 that's being drawn into its mouth. It's hard to see because the mouth is angled away from you slightly, so. And in all the commotion, it got a little buried in the sand, but that's okay. It'll clear itself. All right, the last one I want to try is this red fungia, another one that must be fed, or it will die. And that's kind of a funny angle these days, but I'm going to try to get that. I'm going to try to get that funnel over the top of it. And then I'm going to have to stand guard and watch over it that no fish or shrimp get in there. So that should fit over it, but because of the angle that it's at, I'm going to have to hang on to it by hand. Another animal that seems to prefer larger pieces of Formula 1. Yeah, I'm going to have to in order to feed this coral, I'm going to have to move it into a better spot. It belongs buried into the sand. Try to push it down into the sand like that. Now, if I haven't disturbed it too much, I should be able to We should be able to put the funnel over the top now. Now, one of my things to do is to get a glass or a clear plastic funnel so I can see when the coral has actually eaten the food. So I'll try removing remove the funnel carefully. Oh yeah. It has absorbed some of the food. You can see there's some laying. You can see there's some laying off to the side here, down at the bottom. But some of it, if I get down on the angle here, you can see that the mouth, maybe you'll see the mouth is kind of closed up, flapped over. So that animal has picked up some of that food, which is good. Anyway, to finish up the discussion on feeding, it's kind of a task, especially if you've got lots of big fish and lots of cleaner shrimp. The best time to feed is when you see the feeder tentacles out and about, as in this case. This is that modern meat coral. You can see those little white dots, the end points of all the tentacles. See them there? This is a good time to feed this animal. And a lot of times with some of these corals, that's at night. You can see there are no equivalent tentacles on this fungia. And in that case, if you really need to feed and you don't have time to wait until night and go in with a flashlight and try to feed it, you can force feed them by putting the food on top of them and covering them so the other animals don't get it. And you'll have to wait, upwards of a half hour or more for that animal to respond. But it'll eventually respond and take the food. Some animals, like these pagodas, you see one here, are always open, essentially, during the day. And they only eat basically you can only feed them during the day. This is another example. You see how the polyps are open. This is the one I fed earlier to start with. And you can see how the polyps are all open. They took the food in. But at night they close down and they can't be fed. Other animals like this moon coral up here I won't even attempt to feed, nor the trumpet next to it. This trumpet here, nor this moon coral will really eat much during the day. But at night you'll see the tentacles are out in mass, and in fact later on you'll see some pictures of that as I feed at night. Anyway, that should conclude our work for today on feeding the corals.